What's up everybody, welcome back. Now in this video we're going to be discussing Xenoblade Chronicles X2 and the possibility of Monolith Soft pushing the boundaries on an extreme mature rated game and what they could do with that type of leeway from Nintendo. So let's go ahead and get started. Now it was recently discovered in the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 original soundtrack booklet that Monolith Soft director Kojima said that he would like to make Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Xenoblade Chronicles X2, and a completely new game and a new IP. I believe that one we've already seen some screenshots of with the art and everything, that fantasy type of open world RPG game that we've been seeing. And also they talked about making it very extreme, pushing the boundaries, M-rated, erotic, violent type of video game. So Xenoblade Chronicles X, as many of you may know if you've been following my channel for the last few years, that was my favorite Wii U game by far. I think I had the most gameplay footage of it on my channel. I beat the game. I have that recorded on the channel as well. You can check it out. I thought the game was fantastic. I know some people didn't like it because of the gameplay being a little bit repetitive, and I know a lot of people did not like the storytelling aspect of it, with your main character being kind of an open canvas and silent and having the other characters tell the story. To be honest, I thought that could have been improved as well, but the thing I liked about Xenoblade Chronicles X so much was the open world aspect of it. It was by far the biggest open world game I've ever played, and I still think to this day it is the biggest open world game ever made. Bigger than The Witcher 3, Breath of the Wild, and all these games that are open world. I do believe Xenoblade Chronicles X is the biggest that there is. And what made the game so enjoyable to explore was that the game was so seamless in its transitions, and the world was so detailed and vibrant. The art style was really nice, and they were able to hide a lot of the technical limitations of the Wii U with some very nifty tricks along the way. Obviously there was some areas with more pop-in than other areas, but overall the game looked fantastic for the system and the limited capabilities that it had. And if you went on that journey with me back in 2016, 2015 when I beat the game, you'll know for yourself firsthand that the game leaves quite a bit open to be discussed at the end of the story. So there is a lot going on there. There was a cliffhanger ending to the main story of the game. And obviously fans of the Xeno series have been begging and hoping for a sequel to be announced for Xenoblade Chronicles X because we want to know what happens after that very last scene of the game. I think it's about 20 seconds long, that last scene, but that is definitely something very interesting that we want answered in the sequel. So when the director of the game said that he wants to make a sequel, I really do think it's going to happen, quite honestly, because Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has already sold over 1 million copies on the Nintendo Switch, and I do believe Nintendo announced that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is the fastest selling Xenoblade game that there is so far. So a sequel to X and to Chronicles 3 should not be out of the question. And granted, it could take some time, but since they left it open to interpretation at the end of that game, I do think we're going to see a sequel, and I do think we're going to see an end of the story arc between Elma, Lyn, and Lao from Xenoblade Chronicles X. So I'm very excited about that in a sequel to that game. Now to go along with that, Tetsuya Takahashi, the head of Monolith Soft, also said that he would like to make a game that pushes the boundaries in the mature rating aspect. And he specifically said he wants to make a violent and erotic and heavy mature rated game. But he did go on to say that it may not be possible and Nintendo may not allow that to happen on their system. But it was interesting that Kojima kind of interrupted him a bit and said that it may actually be possible and that he thinks that they can make it happen if they really want to. So what we're seeing here is Monolith Soft trying to branch out into other territories of game development, and obviously that would be a big departure from what they've been doing with sci-fi fantasy storytelling elements in their Xenoblade Chronicles games and in Xenoblade Chronicles X. Now as far as mature content, we know that Nintendo has allowed that on their systems, and they're allowing it more and more. And in fact, there's a softcore, basically porn game in Japan that they've allowed to release already. And there is an adults only game that's been announced for the Switch already as well. So I do think Nintendo would allow that content to be on their system, but as far as Nintendo paying for it, that is where we get into the gray area, see? So if they do push for a game like that on the Nintendo Switch or something in the future, the reason Nintendo may not approve a game like that is because quite possibly Nintendo may not want to pay for a game like that because the name probably would not be known to be a brand new IP. And if you make a game like that that's violent, erotic, and all that kind of stuff, it's going to segregate the audience to a very niche. And Xenoblade was already niche in the first place, kind of branching out a little bit now. But if you make a brand new IP and go right for the mature rated, hardcore aspect, it's probably not going to sell very well. So Nintendo may be against that idea for that aspect only, not for the content being not allowed on their system. So my speculation is that if they really wanted to, they could actually put some of that type of content in Xenoblade Chronicles X2, for example. Since that is a spin-off series from Xenoblade Chronicles, they could keep Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the nice and happy and, teen-rated game. And then with the Xenoblade Chronicles X series, they could actually take it more to the adult side of things and get away with it because people are already familiar with the first game. And I do think a Xenoblade Chronicles X2 that is mature rated could actually reach an audience that would accept that kind of thing. Now obviously, since it would be Xenoblade Chronicles X2, they would have to scale back some of that thing and make some compromises as far as how heavy and how erotic it would be. Since it may not fit in their type of story they want to tell, they may have to make some compromises. So Nintendo may not allow them to make that extremely erotic game that they want to make, but they may allow some of that content to be in Xenoblade Chronicles X2 and go ahead and make the game mature rated. And mature rated games are still very successful. God of War has sold over 5 million copies, and that is a mature rated game. So Call of Duty sells millions and millions of copies every year, and that's a mature rated game. So I don't think mature rated necessarily for Xenoblade Chronicles X2 would be that far-fetched or unimaginable for it to be successful. And if you play Xenoblade Chronicles X, especially the Japanese version, you'll see that these guys have been trying to push for something like that for quite a long time. So I think they really want to push the boundaries and go even a step further. And if they do make it like that, hopefully the game will not get censored. The Japanese version was actually censored for the American audience. And with how Nintendo has been the last year or so with allowing these adult rated games coming into Japan and also allowing another adult rated game being released on the Switch by an indie developer, I really don't think this is out of the realm of possibility. So things could get really interesting very fast with Nintendo IPs here. Xenoblade Chronicles is now a Nintendo IP. Could they be going the mature rated route with Xenoblade Chronicles X2? Personally, I wouldn't mind either way, but I do support developers not being limited by their big publishers that own them. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Are you excited for Xenoblade Chronicles X2, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, or perhaps this mature, erotic type of game they want to make? Let me know what you think about that. As you know, I'm excited for anything Xenoblade Chronicles X, and of course I would improve and change some things about it in the gameplay and storytelling aspect of it, but that's what it's all about. Keep improving and forwarding the series. Alright guys, if you did enjoy this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and do follow me on Twitter, and I'll talk to you very soon in the next video. Have a great day.